All right, guys, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to take a look at how to write a hook. Now, hooks are used in our writing as the very first thing that the reader is going to see when they start reading your paper. So, when you start writing, the very first thing that you want to write is your hook. It's supposed to grab the attention of the reader, okay? At the very beginning of your essay. You want to hook your reader into wanting to read more. They're short, okay? They should not be anything more than 2 sentences long. 2 sentences long is even too long, okay? Try and aim for just one hook or one sentence for your hook. So, there are different types that you can use. You can use a fact, so giving me hard evidence. You found something that is, yes, this is 100% true. I fact checked it. I know that it is. It's coming from a reliable source. You can give me a statistic like a number, a percentage. You can give me a quote from a famous author, a famous person, a famous figure, or you can give me an anecdote or what we call short stories. So let's go ahead. Let's look at facts or statements. You want to shock the reader into wanting to know more and continue reading. Okay. Your statistics, you give the person a number. Okay. Your quote, you give me an exact quote from what someone had said. And then your anecdote, again, that short story. Always start your anecdote with this imagine if, okay? And make sure that you don't use I in your hook and you're not using you, okay? Try to avoid using you. You can only use it if you're using this anecdote. And absolutely do not ask a question in your hook. You should never ask questions in your hook. So if we go back to our writing, we're going to say that maybe this is our irony analysis essay. We know that our focus of the essay is going to be over irony, okay? Your hook wants to relate to your essay, but in a very broad way. You don't necessarily need to say exactly what's going to happen, but you want to have something that's relevant or something that is similar to what you're going to write about. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to choose to use verbal irony for my hook. I'm going to say, imagine if, so again, that anecdote, imagine if a fire station burned down. And that's going to be my hook. That's it. Because it's going to get my readers engaged about what's going to happen. Imagine if a fire station does burn down. That's very ironic because you wouldn't expect a fire station to burn down because the firemen are the ones who put out these fires, okay? We could also go ahead, instead of using an anecdote, we could go ahead and we could Google quotes about irony and just hit enter, okay? Then look at your images and try and see what they have. So we could say irony is the gaiety of reflection of the world of wisdom. We could also head and say irony is fate's most common figure of speech. So let's say we're going to use this one, okay? Irony is the world's most common figure of speech. Oh, but it looks like we can't see who's the author, so we really can't use that, okay? So we can go ahead. We'll say this one. There's no paradox, only irony. That's by Philip K. Jason. So if we go back to our hook, or back to our graphic organizer, we're going to use quotes because it's a quote that someone said. There is no paradox. Oops, wrong one. There is no paradox, period. Only irony. I believe that's what, yep, there is only irony. So we're going to go ahead and make sure that it's the exact quote. Period, quotation mark. Use your hyphen when you are writing your hook for your quote, okay? Or you're writing your quote for your hook because it's not being used as evidence in your story. So we're just going to put Philip K. Jason. And that's going to be it, okay? So those are a couple of ways that you can go ahead and write your hook.